Hi, I'm Rob Lowe. I have DirecTV. Oh, wait a second. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I look about 10% as good as Rob Lowe. Okay, hi, everybody. Welcome to the in between week of the NFL season from the AFC and NFC Championship game to the Super Bowl. It's been an interesting week so far since the two championship games. A couple of things we'll address. Something I find more important, Gary Kubiak being hired as head coach of the Broncos, bringing Rick Dennison, who played for the Broncos many years as well, was a special teams coach on the offensive side of the ball, etc. Been thinking about this, and first I was like a little lukewarm to the idea of Kubiak being hired, but then I thought about it. People say, "Oh, Kubiak, he did crappy job in Houston. He lost him. Blah blah blah." First off, the guy has a heart attack in the middle of a game, which was awful. And he gets fired 3 games later. Good job, Houston. Classy. Couldn't wait till the end of the year to fire the guy. Um, Also, too, name for me the quarterbacks for the Houston Texans and from 96 to 96. That's how old I am. 2006 to 2013. We go. Do, 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 do. First answer is Matt Schaub, the guy whose arm fell off his body basically, and he couldn't start for the Raiders. Chicken arm Schaub. It's good for like 2 years out of his seven. I think of Matt being the pick six guy. Second one is David Carr. He just went back to pass and got sacked again. I think he got sacked like 65 times 1 year. That team was atrocious. So when people say Kubiak did a bad job, he never had any quarterbacks. Everybody says these coaches are the greatest of all time. Belichick's always had Brady. We'll get to that in a minute. Um, Joe Montana and Bill Walsh. Elway with Shanahan and Reeves. So Kubiak would be a good coach if he has a real quarterback, won't he? I mean, they're tied together. The only coach I can think of that really made a lot with not the greatest quarterbacks was Joe Gibbs. He won with Theismann, who's a decent NFL quarterback in 1982. Then he won with Doug Williams against Denver, where Timmy Smith and Gary Clark just scored another touchdown. Worst second quarter of my lifetime at 35 points. Then he won with Mark Rippon, who sucks. I can't stand Mark Rippon. He's another bum. Flash in the pan, bum. And he won a Super Bowl. He had one good season, maybe two. Horrible quarterback. And Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls with mediocre quarterbacks. That stands for something. And Parcells won with Sims and Hostetler. Sims was decent. Hostetler was okay, etc. But I think he can succeed. And with Manning, I said before I think he should retire. But it's not up to me. I'm not Manning's head. I don't know how they'll mesh together because Kubiak wants a person who could move around. The perfect quarterback for him would be Andrew Luck. Obviously, he's not available. Or Russell Wilson. He likes that ability to scramble, get on the edge, Aaron Rodgers, etc. But there's one guy that might be cut by his team that I really like that could be a Broncos quarterback if Manning retires, remember. Sam Bradford. I know people say, "Oh, he gets hurt all the time. He can't stay on the field." Yeah, it's his fault that he got torn ACLs where people jumped on his leg and his knee went sideways. That's his fault, right? He's a wimp. It's not like he has a little wimpy he doesn't have torn hamstrings. He got 2 ACLs in a row, so he's not a wuss. Come on. How about if you get a torn ACL? What would you think? I would think you would think it's a tough injury to come back from. I like the guy, first pick overall, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. I think he'd be great fit for Denver for that system. But good luck to him. Broncos fan, hopefully he does well. I think there's going to be a drop off next year regardless. I'll take 10 wins. I don't expect 12-4 again, but you play the games. On to deflate crap. I am not condoning this. I don't think it's right. If you tamper with stuff, the Patriots bring this crap on themselves with Spygate. Belichick's such an a-hole to the media. He really is. And people say, "Oh, you hate on the Patriots." No, I'm not. I hated Belichick in Cleveland. He was a chooch then. He always had that stupid attitude and that, yeah, Rod to Cincinnati. He's a dink. I like Brady because I respect him for what he does for kids with autism. My son has autism. That's more important to me than a stupid football. I'm sorry. I have lots of respect for him. But the Patriots push the rules, and hey, it's not a good thing. But it had nothing to do with the game, okay? It's just dumb that it happened at this time. Who knows? It's a weird thing. I don't think it should have any effect. Maybe give him a fine or a draft pick, like a third rounder, etc. It's just my opinion. If you don't like it, fine. You can all have your own opinion. You can hate whatever. I don't really care. The Pats are far from my favorite team, really. but I have a lot of respect for what they do, etc. All right, a little recap. Basically, on that game, the Colts couldn't stop the run. LeGarrette Blount, another guy I think's overrated, ran for a ton of yards. Um, when he plays a real defense, he gets like 7 carries on 7 yards, like he did against the Broncos in the championship last year, like he did against the Ravens last week, etc. But he did a good job in that game. To me, their real running back that could be a force going forward in the Super Bowl would be Ridley. I mean, Ridley, he's hurt. Ridley's the guy I like. Vereen, I think Vereen could be do a real good job in the Super Bowl, really. But I'm not talking about the game yet. I'm just putting little insights out there. And also, Edelman had a good game again, and Gronk was silent till a nice catch. And I know people around here was like, "Oh, I'd rather have bad luck than Andrew Luck." It's like, shut up, you're an idiot. The guy's an awesome quarterback. He plays for a team with no talent, basically. T.Y. Hilton and a bunch of nobodies. And he has no running back. Trent Richardson, nice trade from the Browns. And his 2.9 yards per carry. It's terrible. But I think he's going to be good in the future. Oh, by the way, no defense, too. By the way, Brady's always benefited from a good defense when they've won Super Bowls, the 3 of them, and this defense is very good, too. So it's hard to judge a quarterback just by him, and your defense stinks. Ask Elway before he got Terrell Davis and the defense got better. It's not always about just the offense. The defense is huge in these Super Bowls. Like with Peyton Manning. Peyton's such a choker. He has had times where he struggled in the playoffs, but the Colts defense sucked most of the time. Besides when they had the big year with Bob Sanders in 2006, when did the Colts really have a good defense? How about never? So, I mean, and I'm not defending Peyton Manning. He's got to win some of these games too when he's throwing 50 touchdowns. And there was no excuse for what happened last week. He had to have been hurt, whatever, here or there. The other game was fantastic. I mean, oh my God. Green Bay puked all over themselves, really. How did they not win that game? They played such good defensively, have some interceptions to set them off. But Mike McCarthy gets second-guessed to me when he has first and goal on the 1, gets it to fourth and goal on like the inch-yard line. Put it forward with Eddie Lacy. Don't kick a field goal 5 minutes in. Show some faith in your offense. Rodgers was off because of being injured. He didn't play that well. He made some throws, but not the greatest. Then, God, I don't remember the guy who intercepted the ball when they were down 19-7, and he had a free path to the end zone. Everybody talked in the All-22 from the Packers. And he slides down. Even if you ran to the 50-yard line, the game's over. Marshawn Lynch did a great job. I really like him. He's a bowling ball. Does a fantastic job. When they needed it, they turned it up. And also, maybe people say the Packers choked with that onside kick. I don't care. That was executed perfectly. The way the guy bounced it up in the air, hit up off the Packer guy. In the air, the guy from Seattle grabs it in his hands and falls down. And okay, fine, Seattle got lucky, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Green Bay could stop them. Stop them. You got 50 yards. It wasn't like they did the onside kick on the 5-yard line. Green Bay, look yourselves in the mirror. When Rodgers said, the better team lost. The better team lost. Shut up. You sound like a baby. Don't be crying about who lost. You lost. You didn't do a good job. You threw your 2 interceptions as well. Russell Wilson was awful most of the game. But guess what? When he needed to, he came through in the clutch because Wilson's a good quarterback. And he's a clutch quarterback. I mean, he's fantastic. And he hits those long balls, too. He's better than people think when it comes to that. They think, oh, all he can scramble is receivers suck. No, they don't. You don't watch the games, okay? It's not all about stats. Just watch them when they need to. They step it up. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the games. Next one is going back to when I was a young kid. It's Super Bowl week. So we'll talk about some of my favorite moments with the NFL. First one I was looking on YouTube today was the Miami Dolphins against San Diego 1981 divisional playoff. Best game that I ever saw, best game in NFL history. It was the game where the Chargers jumped out to a 24-0 lead. David Woodley got benched on the Dolphins, and Don Strock came in, backup quarterback, and threw the best play I think I've ever seen in my life. I just put it up earlier on Twitter. Strock threw a pass out to the right. I'm not sure if Nat Moore caught it and he flipped it to Duriel Harris or vice versa. It was unbelievable. They call it like the hook and line. He catches it and he flips it to the guy behind him and he runs into the end zone. Don Cricky couldn't believe it. It's been announced in for like 10,000 years too. It was amazing, but the Chargers persevered And I remember Ralph Benushka missing a field goal at the end of the game. They would have won it. Then Miami came all the way back and took the lead, um, 38-35, I believe it was. No, I don't know. I think the final was 41-38. So it was amazing, really. It was just the best game I think I've ever seen. I know that the Chargers won, I think, a double overtime, really. Keller Winslow was the best, not his chooch son. He was awesome, Hall of Famer. He had to get carried off the field. And I remember there was one play, too. Fouts went back to pass, and he flipped it, and it looks like it was going to Wes Chandler. And all of a sudden, James Brooks comes flying in back and makes the catch. Brooks was another guy who went on to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. Very good player. I remember him, number 21. Now getting back to the first Super Bowl that I ever remember clearly was the Washington Redskins against Miami. Same Dolphins, except this was the next season, 1982. Oh, actually, before that, it was a great NFC Championship game. This was the strike season where the NFL players were out 9 weeks. I remember with my dad. I said, "This is horrible. I love football. Why is this crap happening?" It's all about money, blah, blah. So even back then, 1982 was about money. Richard Todd, the immortal Richard Todd, was making fun of earlier this year. Number 14, all mud all over him, goes back to pass. I think it was 7-0 Dolphins. And he throws it. A.J. Dewey picks it up, caught it, runs into the end zone when Dick Enberg goes nuts. A.J. Dewey! What a day! It was unbelievable. Real football where you could hit the guys, not holding, defense, pass interference. As much as I beat up on Browner, I can't stand the guy because I think he's an overrated bum. He would have played good back then. Could he get away with that crap? But his problem is getting mauled too. He's talking about, the better secondary. Whoever plays better, us or Seattle. It's like, shut up, Browner. The only reason why your secondary is good is you have Revis. Not because of you. You're an idiot. Don't compare yourself to Earl Thomas and Sherman. Shut up. You played with that secondary last year. And when they needed it in the Super Bowl, you weren't even there because you were suspended, you moron. Get a big mouth. Shut the hell up and play before you take another penalty. I was telling my dad, I hope he doesn't take a penalty that cost him the Super Bowl. I mean, I have money on the Seahawks winning, but that's because it was a pool, etc. Long time from the whole season. We'll talk about that more next week. But shut up, Browner holding. Another Super Bowl I really remember was obviously the Denver ones were painful at the beginning with Elway against the Giants. He played pretty well and got hit a lot, and the Giants just overwhelmed them in the second half. I remember when they had first and goal from like the 1 yard line, they were up 10-7, and they just kept trying to get it in. And Dan Reeves, so 3 running plays like an idiot. You're going against the Giants, who are one of the best defenses of all time. Then you moron, Dan Reeves. Have Elway throw the ball. You had Clarence K, Vance Johnson, throw the ball. No, he runs, he gets hit, tackled. I think Sammy Winder got popped in the middle. Lawrence Taylor was in the middle of it, and Harry Carson, idiot Reeves. And then Rich Collis, the big stiff, misses like a 23-yard. Sucks. I hate Rich Collis. Always have. He almost missed the play in the drive the week before. It was close. It could have been called no good. It wouldn't have been surprised to the ref. It looked like it went right over the upright. So he sucks. All right, another good Super Bowl after that was the 1988 one between the Cincinnati Bengals and the 49ers. And I kind of feel bad for Boomer Esiason. He did his job at the end of the game, getting Cincinnati to have a 16-13 lead. I remember that Super Bowl when one of the players for the Bengals returned a kick for a touchdown. It was an amazing play. But Montana was clutch. Best quarterback of all time, period. End of discussion. No interceptions in his 4 Super Bowls, period. Played under the harder rules where you could beat up guys. And always another misnomer is, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice's whole career. No, he didn't. Do your research before you say stupid stuff. He played in the first 2 Super Bowls. He had Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark. 1984 team was 15-1, and he did not have Jerry Rice. So look it up, you morons. Don't be bragging about you, Jerry Rice. Tom Brady never had this one. Peyton Manning never had this one. It's like, you know what? Get a clue before you start ripping, okay? Brady's the second best in my opinion, but dumb. Dumb. And Elway's better than Manning. Take your stats and throw them out the window. They don't mean nothing to me. Okay? Stats are for losers. Wins and clutch is what I'll take. Another excellent Super Bowl that was kind of painful too. I remember watching one of my friends was the Buffalo against the New York Giants. They really wanted Buffalo to win a Super Bowl. That team was fun with the K gun, etc. They moved the ball up and down the field, but they got stalled and got field goals. And Parcells coached a masterful game. Yes, Belichick, who I can't stand, did a great job as coordinator. He is a great defensive mind. He's a great coach. Just a chooch. He's an idiot since he quit on the Jets. I resign as the HC of the NYJ when I'm under contract getting paid like a coach. You're a jackass, okay? Sorry. You quit. People will say, oh, yeah, Bill Belichick, he's with the Pats, integrity. He stands for no integrity, that guy. Period. Please. Quit on the Jets. Quit. Anyway, I hated him since he was on the Browns with no Patriot connection whatsoever. A lot of respect for Brady and all those guys on defense that I've mentioned many times, and all the old Patriots with Brewski and Vrabel and Troy Brown and Willie McGinnis, Tyler. Those guys are awesome. I have nothing but good things to say about them. Vinatieri too, classy guy, but Belichick can go jump off the Tobin for all I care. All right, but I remember the end of that. Getting back to that game, as I go on a tangent, that's just how I am. I don't have really a subject to talk about here. I'm just going. When Scott Norwood missed the field goal 47 yards, and you feel bad for him. You really do. Unless you're a Giants fan. Who I respect the Giants. They've done great things over the years. I mean, Lawrence Taylor, best defensive player of all time. Awesome. Unbelievable. Unstoppable. And they had Harry Carson. So many good players. George Martin. Jim Burt. The team was great. Another guy I like, Jason Sehorn later on, who was a good player, had good speed, etc. Okay, now going to another excellent Super Bowl, the Rams against the Titans, where I was rooting for Warner big time there because I just liked them, and I didn't like the way that Titans team played. I thought they were boring as hell. Sorry, no offense. God rest your soul, McNair. You did a better job as your career went on for throwing the ball, but back then you were mostly just a runner around her. Kurt Warner was unbelievable what he did there. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holtz. Marshall Falk was unbelievable. Great team. And they made the tackle at the 1 yard line. I was also telling my dad recently, if you had the ball on the 7 yard line at the end of the game, 5 seconds left, wouldn't you make sure you throw the ball into the end zone to try to get a touchdown as opposed to short? Yeah, Jack, that's a smart idea. Exactly. Get stupid Tennessee throwing it at the 3 yard line so you can make a tackle. Idiots. Just dumb coaching. Dumb, etc. See another one. Obviously, the Patriots first Super Bowl I liked. Sorry, the people who don't like the Pats. I thought it was great the way they won. Ty Law was immense with the way he played. Incredible. And yet, I'm not talking about the Broncos Super Bowls because I think people know I'm a Broncos fan. I love all of them. I actually enjoyed the Atlanta one better because they heard that Dirty Birds crap. And Atlanta pulled off a nice upset against Minnesota. And I just enjoyed that Elway played great in his last game. So that was fun for me. Obviously, Terrell Davis was the first one. This is like the weekend before. I think Terrell Davis should be a Hall of Famer. Some people say he didn't play long enough, which I think is a bunch of crap. He has the most yards of all time in NFL history inside playoffs. He had like 700-yard games in a row. Tell me another running back that has that. Nobody. The first one he had like 85 yards, so it wasn't like he got 10. He didn't have 9 rushes for 10 yards, but he didn't play long enough. It's unfortunately stupid Brian Griese interception, and he hurt his knee. I know it's Griese's fault, but that's all I think of. He was never the same player after that in '99. He had like 6,400 yards or whatever it was, something like that. Gale Sayers in the Hall of Fame, and he has like 5,000 yards, and he didn't play that long. And it's like, oh, Gale Sayers was so flashy. Oh, yeah, he deserves to be in. So does Terrell Davis. Without Terrell Davis, Broncos never win a Super Bowl. He was the freaking rock. He had 4 awesome years. 1,500, 1,750. I don't know. No, like 1,100, 1,500, 1,750, 2003 or whatever it was. Come on. How many guys in the history of the league have done that? No, hardly anybody. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my rambling. I'm just trying to have a little fun this week. I hate when there's no game, etc. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl next week. I'll do my analysis write the award-winning analysis. Like anybody gives a crap about what I have to say. They might just laugh at what I have to say, which makes it fun. But I enjoy doing this. I'm a fake sportscaster. I might as well do it. Doesn't cost me anything, and if you like it, great. Hopefully you have an excellent evening, great weekend, and look forward to next week. Enjoy.